I had other plans and other YouTube videos planned for you guys, but I feel sick and I get very sad and moody when I am sick. But I chose to take this opportunity to take a break from all of the books that I had to read and actually do a little bit of mood reading and read the books that I really want to read. This video, you guys are gonna come along with me to mood read books while I recover from my sickness. Hi you guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Hi, if you're new, welcome to the channel. I really hope you enjoy the content. If you do, please do consider subscribing. I'm shooting this intro after I'm already all well and recovered, and honestly I think I was being a little bit dramatic, but I just do not feel good when I am sick. Okay, I detest falling sick, especially with fever and like cold. No, but I'm all good and well now, and I read some really awesome books in this video and I'm so excited for you to watch it. Let's begin. We have a wide variety of books to choose from because I recently subscribed to Storytel again. I have not been listening to audiobooks since a long time because I just felt like reading physical books, but just a few days back I was like, let's just see what Storytel has, and I just went through all of the books that they have, and they have literally the best collection ever, at least for right now. For example, there is The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, which is her latest release. That is on over here. We have What a Way to Go by Bella Mackie. Bella Mackie is the author of How to Kill Your Family. The God of Woods, which is gaining popularity recently, that's over here. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which are cozy books. Mary McFarlane's books, Red Rising, and so many other books. I mean, I am literally in love with the collection, and so I have such a wide variety of books to choose from. I have already chosen my first book, which is Just the Nicest Couple. I saw Destiny read it in some video. I don't remember which video. I have been wanting to read it since that time, so it has been on my wish list in Amazon, but the paperback version is really expensive, and so I did not buy it. But then I looked it up on Storytel if it's available or not, because I really want to read it, and it was, and so I just started listening to it. I am 1.5 hours into it. The reason I was so eager to read it is because it has the word couple in it. Even nicest, actually, the whole just the nicest couple, but it being a crime mystery thriller is the best combo ever. I'm 1.5 hours into it. We are following two POVs right now. Multiple POVs, yes, please, yes. We have Christian and his wife Lily, but we only follow Christian's POV, and we have Nina and her husband Jake, but we're only following Nina's POV. Nina's husband Jake has gone missing, and Lily, who is Christian's wife, thinks that she is the last person to see Jake before he has gone missing. Just some time back, the name of the book has been dropped like a bomb. Oh, Christian and Lily are just the nicest couple, and I'm very excited to see where the story is going to go. I tried to do this hairdo myself, but I don't really think it's working out on me. I'm gonna have to change it. I am almost halfway through the book now. The mystery has become very thick, and I have a very theory going on in my mind. It's such an obvious theory because of how the characters are behaving. If that turns out to be true, I'm going to like hate the book forever, because I am at the point in the book right now where I'm just like, oh my god, just move on already. There's just so much mundane day-to-day stuff going on. Day-to-day of both of these characters whose POV we are seeing, and also the day-to-day of not the husband because he's missing, but the wife Lily, and I'm just like, move on. I want to know what is going to happen. However, I am actually really enjoying the audiobook version of this. I don't know if I would enjoy the book this much. No, I would actually, maybe if I was reading it, because it is such an atmospheric book. Every single time there is like this, you know, the suspenseful part playing, the narrators have this quiver in their voice, and just listening to it is just so much fun. It makes the book so much more haunting. Even if it's not a horror book at all, it just makes the book sound more haunting, and I'm really enjoying it. Now I just hope that the ending is worth it and it's awesome, because if it is, I'm gonna be in love with this book. Reasons why I like audiobooks so much is because you can listen to it while doing other stuff, and I actually finished listening to Just the Nicest Couple while I was doing a little bit of cleaning here and there, because when the house is not clean I don't feel good over here, and that is not good when I am already sick. I finished listening to it and I actually wanted to record me listening to the book in the end, record my entire reaction to it, but I was waiting for the moment when the book becomes interesting enough for me to start filming my ending reaction, but it just never became that interesting where I had reactions like oh my god, I did not expect this at all. I mean, the plot twist was actually great. I did not see that coming, and it was so much fun to even read the book. The entire experience was literally awesome. Strong 3.75 stars, but also nearing 4 stars because the entire experience was awesome. The characters were awesome. However, it was just not that big of a plot twist that would make me go, oh my god, I did not expect this at all, or oh my god, how did this happen? And the one thing I look for in mystery thriller books is I like it when things are just embedded within the story, like throughout the entire book, and when in the end you see the plot twist, you're like, oh my god, everything makes sense, whatever was going on, and it was not even obvious. So sometimes I feel like authors do not make it obvious, keep it like very chill, but then the whole chilling part is what makes it obvious, and that is what sort of happened with the story, where one, I did not see clues being dropped here and there that would make sense towards the end, and secondly, to not make the ending obvious, they kept it way too chill, and then it became a little too obvious when I saw the ending. So yeah, even though I did enjoy the entire experience, I would highly recommend it as an audiobook, especially because the listening experience was so good. It's available on Storytel if you want to go and check it out. It's not sponsored, but it should be because I literally love Storytel. I still probably won't buy the physical copy of it because I'm just not that obsessed. After that, I have started reading Nothing Like the Movies. I am 88 pages into the book. This is the bookmark that I'm using, which I think looks really cool with the book. I received this a couple of days ago, and since then I've literally been obsessed with reading it, but I also wanted to read it in a vlog, but at the same time I had no vlogs planned. So now that I have fallen sick and I get to read whatever I want, excuse me for that sound, and I get to read whatever I want to read, reading this one. And guys, I'm literally 88 pages in, but I am so invested to a point where I literally don't want to keep the book. The book has dual POV, and it starts with Wes thinking about how he had everything and he is at a very low point of his life because his dad died. Wes and Liz are also broken up, and I just started the book and I'm like, wait, because I don't remember this stuff happening in the first book at all. As far as I remember, in the actually, let me backtrack a little bit for anybody who doesn't even know about this book at all. This is actually the second part in the Better Than the Movies. It's not a series, but it is the second part of Better Than the Movies. Better Than the Movies is the story of Liz and Wes, and we get to follow the story of how Liz's definition of love shifts throughout her life, throughout her young adult life. That is what I remember. This book started with like a totally different tone, with Wes talking about how he has lost everything, including Liz. The first book, Better Than the Movie, is literally a fluffy cloud that you can jump in. Like, that's how it feels. Like, you know, when you go in a plane during like the morning or daytime and you can see all of the clouds, and you just imagine what it would feel like to just like dive into it and you can just like jump around in it. That's what I felt like when I was reading Better Than the Movies. There was no intensity at all in that, and then this book starts off with such intensity. Like, it was a gut punch, and I've just been thinking if I remember that book right, and something did happen. I don't know. Now Wes has decided that he is going to get his girl back. It's time to get Liz back. On the other hand, Liz has a completely different vibe going on. She is not the girl you saw in Better Than the Movies, and there is so much tension going on. Not tension between them yet, but I am literally obsessed with I think, guys, that second chance romance is one of my favorite tropes, which is crazy. So many rom-com books that I'm obsessed with are second chance romances, and I am only realizing that now when I've started reading this book, and it's a second chance romance. You know, oh my god, I'm obsessed. And especially Liz and Wes in that setting. I mean, I am already so attached to these characters. They are going through this rough patch, and how cool is that? So the book update for now is that I literally cannot stop reading it. It's written that binge worthily and with so much drama going on. My sickness update is that I did feel better in the morning when I woke up, but I feel like I shouldn't have done all of the work that I did, because since then I can feel everything just coming back, you know, and my throat still hurts. I am going to distract myself from being sick by continuing to read this book. Hello! It's time to read my next book. I am still reading Nothing Like the Movies, but because I am allowed to mood read, the inner mood reader in me is coming outside, and I am actually going to be reading so many books at once. So I am reading this currently, but I'm also very excited to read this novel, which is a horror novel called We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cliver. I got it today itself, ripped it open, and just straight up started reading it without even thinking about anything else, because I'm so excited to read it. I did not expect it to be this short, and I read, I think, 3 chapters. I read 35 pages and then I literally closed the book in the middle of a chapter, because I thought that it would be fun to read this book at night. And let me tell you why. This is a horror novel. It's a story of how a couple finds a house that is insanely cheap. Obviously that is the problem, which is why, like, if I was to ever move, I would not be able to go for the cheaper option, because it is going to be haunted or something bad is going to happen with that house. But getting back to the story, they got the house because it was so cheap, and then one day the family that used to live in this house before, it was their childhood home, comes to the house to visit, and they're like, oh, can we just like get into the house and just see it once? And the man is old and he has like 3 children, and he's like, I really want to show my kids what the house is like. And our main character has tried so hard. I am actually really proud of her, and I am already attached to her, because I can see her trying so hard to not let them in the house, as in she's trying not to people please. Even if her instincts are, oh, you cannot really say no to these people, try to say no. She's taking the help of her partner, but her partner is not available, and then she says no, and they start going. But then she sees the kid's face and she's like, oh, okay, fine, just come back in. But you let them back in. You shouldn't have. She shouldn't have let these people back in. Now, till now, nothing really has happened, but I think that it was starting to get crazy. And it's a horror novel, and right now I am alone in my house. So I was thinking, what sort of an awesome experience would it be for me to read my first horror novel alone in my house at night? And so I stopped reading in the middle of the chapter so I could read it right now. I have been waiting all day for it actually to be night time so I can sit and start reading the book, and hopefully finish it today itself, because it's like really short, and hopefully it will be gripping enough that I won't be able to keep it down, because till now, from what I have read, it is grippy. First horror novel alone in the night. Yay! I'm seriously so excited. An update on how I am feeling. My nose is blocked, and I basically have like a lot of, I don't know if this is TMI or not, but I have a lot of cough, because of which like I can feel it in my ear and in my nose and like everywhere. And so I may be yelling right now, because every time I'm talking, I am not able to hear myself much, because I feel like I'm blocked by all of the cough, and I'm really annoyed by all of the cough. It is time to see if this book is actually going to horrify the out of me. So actually, to give a little bit of background, I am literally obsessed with horror movies. Obsessed. I think, except for some movies that I can think of right now, for example, The Cabin in the Woods, Friday the 13th, that also I think I watched. A couple of these classic movies that I actually started watching, but I did not find them entertaining enough, like in the first 5 minutes. So I just closed it off. But apart from that, I have watched so many horror movies, it's insane. And so I am actually slightly worried if this book is actually going to horrify me or not, because this is my first novel, and the reason I've never read horror novels is because I think that they can't actually scare you. Like, how is a book going to scare me? Because movies have the visuals and the audio effects and the jump scares and whatnot. A book has basically just words on paper, so how is it going to scare me? But then on the other hand, I do know that so many emotions have been inspired within me because of a book. I have cried tears over ink on paper. So I was thinking that maybe I should give this genre a shot and see if it will actually scare me. So I'm going to be a little hard on this book. Tough critiquing going to happen over here. Okay, I just realized that that entire clip was crooked. Sorry guys. The way I just got a very heart attack, you guys. I'm on page 83. It's very interesting, and one of the family members that had come to visit was actually telling a story from his childhood and sort of, you know, highlighting some stuff. And the story was a little, it's not really scary, it's a little bit haunting, you know. And I really got into it. And I totally forgot that literally 10 minutes ago I had ordered something from Blinkit and it is here now. And the bell rang and it's like, it's night time and I'm like, who's here? During the daytime, the bell just rings randomly, fine, you know, there must be people, whatever. Who's coming at night? I was like, oh my god. I got so scared. And then I suddenly remembered that, Anchal, you yourself just ordered stuff. That's what it is. I actually got a cute little comb for myself. I was waiting for this to be available on Blinkit so I could order it, and I got the notification while I was reading that it's available, so I just got it. And I got myself some munches because this is usually like my dessert every night after dinner. So god, that was insane the way I felt. So much bigger than I thought, and it's so pretty. The reason I was waiting for it for so long is because I don't know if you can see, but the floral print on it, and it's huge, and it's this one. I really like combs that have this handle and I can... Why does this sort of feel like it would be in a horror house? I am on page number 207. It's after 12 AM right now, and I took a little breaky break there because I was playing games with Himalaya and Utsav. We play after 12 every night. So we play Wordle, Connections and Strands, which are all New York Times games that you can just Google and start playing. It's just a fun little thing that we do every day and sort of catch up with each other. So I took that little bit of a break and now I'm getting back to the book. Honestly, I'm a little sleepy, but I really want to know how this book is going to end and what sense it is going to make, because till now the horror aspect of it, according to me, is not that strong. Like, the paranormal horror vibes are there, but I'm not getting like insanely scared. On the other hand, however, the mystery and thriller aspect of it is really good. I am enjoying this more like a thriller, like a mystery thriller book, and it's giving me strong The Last Word by Taylor Adams vibe. It's not a slasher book, but it has that eeriness and that fast-paced journey to it, so I'm really enjoying that. Along with the main story going on, there are these chapters. After each chapter or after a couple of chapters, there are these different docs that have absolutely no relation with the book whatsoever. I mean, there are like these hints that they may have a relationship with our main story, but otherwise they're not really making sense to me at all. Like, why are they there? And I'm really hoping that by the end of the book it has all meant for something. The main story is going nice, and I still don't know where the book is going. In the middle, what happened is, at around 150 pages, I was like, oh my god, I think this is what is going to happen. I had a theory and I was going to switch on the camera and vlog it, but then literally in the next paragraph, the theory that I said was there, and I just hate it but love it, like secretly love it but hate it when that happens, because the author intended for me to come to that conclusion that, oh, is this what's going to happen? The author intended for me to have this particular theory, and I actually had it, and the author won and I lost. And I feel like I am being controlled. I really hope by the end of the book it's not too scary, because I started reading the book at night because I was like, oh, it's gonna be so much fun, blah blah blah. I completely skipped out on the fact that I actually also have to stay alone at night after finishing the book, and only in the daytime will I have people around me again. So if it's too scary and it has lingering effects, I don't know how I'm gonna spend the night. is explained a little bit so I can be sure. Oh my god, was that so trippy. Around 1:30 right now, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good morning, you guys. It's actually a couple days later because I had to take my time to process this book completely, to actually review it. I actually had to Google and see what other people think about this book, because when I updated you last, there was not much of a horror story going on. The paranormal aspect of it wasn't really going on. And then in the last, like, I think 100 pages were left, it just became literally crazy, like literally so crazy. It became completely horrifying. It was trippy. So many things were happening that my brain actually couldn't catch up with what I'm reading, and I was trying to understand if I'm actually understanding what I'm reading correctly, or am I just not able to focus and understand what is going on. And so I actually had to Google to see what other people think and if they have any theories about the ending of the book. And I came to know that I did understand the book well, exactly what I thought actually happened in the book. And if that is what happened in the book, then it's crazy. I'm gonna warn you beforehand, there are a lot of open-ended questions in the book that is left for interpretation. So if you don't like open-ended books, then you won't enjoy this one. And that is the only part of the book that I personally did not enjoy. Apart from some very, very rare books, I really like my stories to end, especially if it is a horror, thriller, mystery story. When you have built up something for so long and my mystery is like peak, I need to know exactly what happened, and that doesn't happen in this book. So that annoyed me a little bit. But apart from that, I am literally obsessed with this book, and it is such a perfect winter time read. It was fast paced, it was so interesting, and it's so well written. The entire formation of the story is so awesome that your jaw is dropped by the end of it, and you're still like, oh my god, what did I just read? A lot of things do interconnect with each other in such a weird way. I am literally obsessed with the weird vibes of the book because I love weird books, and I did not expect the horror book to be like this. I expected it to be like, oh my god, like some really cliche things happening, and this book is anything but cliche. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. If you can listen to it actually instead of reading it in audiobook format, I think it's available on Audible, then you will have even more fun, I can assure you of that, because I am probably going to reread this book and listen to it this time, because I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to comprehend the ending in a better way if you're listening to it. Plus the eerie vibes and winter vibes, it all goes very well together. If you want to start with horror books, you can start with this book. Great for beginners, though I do suggest please do read the trigger warnings before you get into the book, because there are some really dark subjects. I mean, but then what did you expect? It's a horror book. Now I am actually going to continue with Nothing Like the Movies, which I am so excited about, because I took a little bit of a break with this one, and this one has made me want to read this book more after all of those eerie vibes. I want something cozy and filled with drama. I'm so tired of blowing my nose. TMI alert. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get like acne on my nose at this point because of how much I'm touching it. I am shocked by how obsessed I am with this book. I am on page 268, about there in the book, and the only reason I dropped it was because I fell asleep literally in the middle of the chapter, and then this morning I woke up and I read a little bit more of it. Why am I enjoying this book way more than the first one? I don't know what's going on with me, because I read If Only I Had Told Her this year, and because I read the second book, the first book became way more memorable for me. Like, that entire duology has made it a story to be remembered in my mind. And now I'm reading the second book of this, like Better Than the Movies, and now I remember better than now I remember better than the movie. Even more obsessed with Liz and Wes, and I think, I mean obviously that is literally the point of writing a second book, The point is being made and I'm really enjoying it. And I have been seeing a few reviews, and I've seen reviews of If Only I Had Told Her, and people are like, oh my god, you didn't really have to write that book. And then even for this, like, you didn't really have to write that book. But I say hell yes to actually writing these books because I am having the best reading experience. Number one, the dual POV. One of the things that I missed so much in the first book was Wes's POV. If he is yearning after Liz so much, I wanted to see the yearning, the obsession that this man has with Liz. Number two, the intensity. I love myself a good rom-com, and this also is a very good time. I mean, it is a YA romance novel. It's a good cozy time, but at the same time, I personally like reading heavy topics, heavy stuff, intensity. Give me trauma, tragedy, all of those things mixed with the heartwarming stuff. I was missing it from the first book. This one filled with it. Oh my god, I am so gripped by Wes's tragedy and seeing the dynamic between Liz and Wes when he's going through the stuff. Number three, I don't know why this has turned into a comparison of both the books. I don't mean to do that, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to highlight why I'm enjoying this book way more than the first one. Number three is, you already know what is going to happen in a rom-com book, and that is sort of what happened in Better Than the Movies. Done very well, and so I enjoyed it a lot. But you already know what's going to happen. Like, if you did not know, you wouldn't really get into the book. That's the whole point of reading a rom-com, so you can have a cozy time because you know what is going to happen. However, obviously as a reader, I like it when books are unpredictable, when I don't know what is going to happen, or even though I'm pretty much sure they're going to end up together by the end of this book, fine. That is not the predictable part, but there are so many questions to be answered in the book because I have not gotten all the answers about Wes's past till now, okay? Like, literally more than halfway through the book, and I still don't have all of the information, and it's still going on, and I am so hooked to the book, not only for their vibe, not only for their romance, but also to know what happened, you know, what happened in the past. So I am really enjoying my time. This is making my sick time so much better, and now I can't wait to see how it ends. It's very important that it ends well because otherwise I'll be really sad. Recognize me? I'm Anchal from the intro. I am done with Nothing Like the Movies, you guys. I'm actually obsessed. I am now way more obsessed with Liz and Wes than I was when I read Better Than the Movies. I just finished it, so if you ask me right now, I will actually not be able to point out anything wrong with this book. Is this going to be a 5-star book for me? I don't know. I need more time to think about that, but it's that good. That's how much fun I had, and honestly, it's going to be a core memory for me that there was this time when I felt sick and then I read this book. This book has made this time very memorable for me, so I'm so grateful to it, and I highly recommend it. Do not go into it seeking similar vibes as Better Than the Movies. It's just not as fluffy, it's just not as carefree, it gets a little bit intense. So if you read Better Than the Movies and you were like, this is just like too much like the movies, like this is just like too fluffy, then I think you will enjoy this book a lot. It was a perfect balance of being fun and being intense for me, and I'm obsessed. With that, we also come towards the end of the video, just wrapping up the other 2 books that I read. First up, I read Just the Nicest Couple as an audiobook, which was so much fun, a very atmospheric read for me, and though it will not be something that stands out in my mind all the time, not very memorable for me, I had a good time reading it, and it was a good distraction when I was sick. Next up, I read We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cliver. Yeah, Cliver. What an interesting discovery. Horror genre is going to be my new favorite genre. I'm going to dig it up and I'm going to read so many more books. Hopefully going to choose nights where I'm again alone. I'm not alone anymore, but it was just so much fun to read an eerie book when I was alone at home. That again, this one again is a core memory, distracted me well from my sickness, and I do recommend it as a horror book. The only side effect was that it had some open-ended questions. I hate that. Okay, so if you hate that, you'll get a little bit annoyed, but I still don't think that even that is a good reason to skip out on this book, and I highly recommend the audiobook version of it. And then of course we have Nothing Like the Movies, which I just talked about, and with that we come towards the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I loved making this sort of a video for myself to just be just like see what I'm going to do, not have any plans at all, because it has led to some beautiful memories for me. I hope you guys also enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did, and I'll make more such videos, not where I am sick obviously, but more mood reading videos, because these are definitely my favorite. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.